doesn't smell stinky.
No, she doesn't. Although yesterday she did. Moose did like a big hard turn.
No.
And he cut her off, and she's usually very good about like being underneath his feet.
Yeah.
She was not, and she got like just like blown sideways, and she literally rolled down the hill at Matthew's to the point where like the dirt was not just on her, it was in that fur.
And she's got really short hair. It's like short, thick hair.
Yeah.
Too. So like it's a lot. It's a lot of, it's a little tricksy hair. Plus she's a little black dog. So any kind of dirt, just, you can see it.
Yeah. I mean, she was like, she looked almost brindle when she got up from there. She was fine. Like, she was just bounced up and kept running. Fine. But like, I tried to just like wipe it off of her, and it was like, I live here now.
It's in there.
So I called Chris on the way home, and I was like, we may have to give her a bath.
Maybe.
But
So there have been so many times that like, because we have a bunch of like pine sticks in our yard. And Booker will like run into the yard to go to the bathroom, and he's got his big poofy sweepy tail. And he'll like, I'll see him squat and go to the bathroom, and then he'll start running back and then turn around like something is eating him, and then run to me in fear, and then he'll just have a whole stick caught in his tail floof, like an entire pine stick. And like, he used to be more afraid of it, but now he knows to just like run up to me, and he will turn around, and I'm like, oh, I got it. But like, there have been times where they've been stuck.
Wow.
And it's like, I don't want to cut your tail floof, but I can't get the stick out.
Yeah.
And it's just, are we still recording?
Oh my God, are we still recording?
We're talking about my dog's butt.
It's okay. We've been talking about our dogs for, hi everyone.
Yeah.
We are still recording.
Well,
that's classic.
Yep, that's what we do.
It is.
It's almost like it's on purpose.
We'll never tell.
Anyway, I'm Lyndsey.
I'm Jordyn.
And this is Are We Still Recording? A podcast about a podcast. And I haven't processed.
No. And so you guys may have noticed we did not release a normal review last week. And if you've been watching our D&D content, which you should, our ponkent, if you will. That's what my brain said, and that is not what I meant to say. Our ponkent. So if you have been watching the content, we kind of ended in the middle of a big fight, and we didn't really feel like there was quite as much. So we decided instead to give you guys a little side quest in there.
And not even like ended in a big fight. Like, we started and then ended in a big fight.
It's true.
Like, that was the whole, 3-4 hour session?
Oh, they're never that long. I mean, like, by the time we sit down, stop chit-chatting, and then actually get into D&D, it's usually about 2 hours.
Okay, so
it's usually 9 to 11.
2 solid hours of kicking a lich's butt.
Yeah, truly.
And, hey, just real quick, if I can just jump in here before we get into anything. Jordyn is one of the best D&D players in the entire world, and she exploded a lich. She,
after doing nothing for the entire first session, though, did nothing.
But then you came out of hiding.
I did.
And you dusted him.
I did.
You literally dusted him.
I did. I was very excited for that moment. That was obviously, it's a once in a session, once in a campaign.
Legendary
moment.
Legendary.
And I'm glad to say I had that moment.
You did it. Like, we were talking in the Heckna planning chat, and Mans was like, I'm kind of thinking about doing a road. Would anybody argue with doing a road? I'm like, are you going to do a paladin subclass as well for some sweet smite damage? And all he sent back was 288. That was all he said. And I'm like, no, I know. And it was the coolest thing that's ever happened. And it's the coolest thing that will ever happen.
I mean, I've done some cool in D&D.
Yeah.
Oops, that's going to be a Lance meow right there. I've done some cool stuff in D&D. We all have.
Yeah.
And like, I brokenly have twin spelled some spells that probably shouldn't have been twin spelled in
really
C1. Cool. Oh yeah, Manzalow's really cool. He allows it. Actually, he's let me do that multiple times. But I would twin spell chain lightning.
Whoa.
That would, because it only aims at one target.
Yeah.
But then it bounces to other targets. So if you have 2 targets and you twin spell chain lightning, it just bounces to them. So like, the more people can get, the better. But I've done over 100 damage
so would
that
the
way.
beams in the middle get hit twice?
Everyone
Everyone
get hit twice ideally.
Huh.
So in the like first situation, it was like some bad guy and a green dragon, and like it was like we were going after like the masks of Tiamat and things like that, and so we were going after like the green mask, and they were right next to each other because it's like within 10 feet or something like that, and I was like, I would like to cast chain lightning, but I'd like to twin it and cast chain lightning. So one was at the person, one was at the dragon, and it bounced to both of them.
Amazing.
So they had to make, I don't remember if they make a deck save. I don't know if they did like a deck save for each one or something like that, but like that did massive damage.
Yeah.
But even then, like 288 damage.
That's incredible. I told Caleb about it because I was so excited, and he's like, and he had just DM'd a session. Like he also plays D&D with his group on Monday nights. And he had just DM'd a session while we were, and he's like, my players were complaining about 70 damage. And I'm like, well, that sounds like you problem. It sounds like you need to hit them a little bit harder, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, that is a once in a, so for those who, we were fighting a lich. We'll do as quick of a summary as Lyndsey and I are capable of doing.
Yes.
So 30 minutes. But
buckle up.
So we were fighting a lich. So we're, in the Cobalt Soul archives, basically trying to do, we're basically doing these tests to prove that we are worthy and competent enough to be able to have the plans to Gordranus to go ahead and take down the betrayers and put them back behind the divine gate. That's our goal. So some of the prime deities have set up these tests for us. The Raven Queen has given us this, what was supposed to be a test of loss.
Yeah.
Or
like he prefaced it as a a lesson in survivor's guilt.
I was gonna say my notes say how to reconcile with loss, but I don't ever always write things down word for word.
That's okay. I feel like survivor's guilt stuck with me.
Yeah.
Because of Cygnus.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
But I remember survivor's guilt, but like I think it was like loss and survivor's guilt were the two things that we were supposed to deal with.
Sure.
And then who knows, maybe Mans was like, you know what would be more fun and less traumatic than that? A lich.
Well, I mean, and he even showed us the lich beforehand, and it was supposed to be like a I guess he's from Tomb of Annihilation, which Bill ran for them. So it was like,
I think that's how his name is pronounced.
That sounds like something that I heard people say.
I think Bill said it, and I'm like, oh, is it? Because if I just read his name on paper, it's like Akarak.
Oh, okay.
That's not it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're fighting him. So we get there, and he's like basically in the middle of a ritual. And based on the vision that the RQ showed all of us, I think we all saw the vision, like he's trying to put the Raven Queen like in a sphere. Oh, no. I put the lich, RQ puts it in a sphere. Oh, puts the lich in the sphere.
Yes.
But he's trying to ascend is what he's trying to do. And so we're basically trying to stop this. And basically, like the Raven Queen says that my first champion was tasked with preventing ascension of a lich trying to take over her position. And it was a reference to Purvon Soul, which is super cool.
And there's that guy.
And she said that a group of adventurers failed but paved the path for us. And if you cannot defeat this lich, then we need another plan. So she was basically like, if you can't handle this,
then we're not sending you out there.
Yeah. And so enter combat, and we're in like this really cool
like turbine room.
Yeah, pretty much. Because there's like the big jars of like corpses just floating in some fluid, and then like in the middle there's like cogs and gears and things that are like rotating and making like sounds of machinery
underneath us. There's like a catwalk above this like turbine, and it's like, oh, okay, so if anyone falls in there,
bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. And so the lich isn't even paying any attention to us. Like the first few rounds, I think I went first or second. I think it was second, because I think it was Runeberg and then me. And maybe? I don't remember.
No, Runeberg goes immediately before me.
Okay.
And so,
it was Galileo first.
Yep.
Galileo first, then me. I think he cast haste on me. I think
Yes.
that was what he did first.
Mhm.
And I went up there to hit. I rolled a 26 to hit, and Mans goes shield. And I was just like, okay. And
Or did you point your bow?
I did, but that's what
Okay.
So what I did
Yeah.
was I was trying to do, so we obviously have multiple magic items, and I have a bow that can fire normal arrows and then turn them into magical shots. So one of them, shout out to the Griffin Saddlebag.
Yeah. The best resource for all of your magical item needs.
Truly.
Griffin Saddlebag.
Yeah. So love
Sponsor
it.
us.
Oh my God, please. Love it though. So I have a bow from them. And one of the shots I can call it and use like some charges, and it turns into a bolus. And the bolus I'm hoping to restrain this lich. Roll a 26, he says shield. He felt really bad about it, which I don't know why he felt bad about it. Cause like we're fighting a lich. Like
he should be able to do those things.
Yeah. But basically like, I have a +9 to hit. And if I now have to roll a 27, I'm not doing any of like my special things that like, I have like a crippling strike. That's a homebrew feat that we made that like, I can do -5 to the attack and like, slow them down or give them disadvantage. And I was like, well, I'm not doing anything like that because I don't want to take the -5. I won't be able to hit. And I just missed on my next 2 attacks because now as a level 5 paladin, level 7 rogue, I do get multi-attack, which is pretty broken for a rogue, but
you deserve it. It's fine.
I put the levels in.
Yeah.
So you do the work, you get the reward.
You do the paladin so that you can hit a bunch.
Exactly. Well, I was going to do monk initially, and then like because I was going to do rogue monk.
Yeah.
And then because actually daggers count as monk weapons.
Okay.
So I could still do extra damage that way. But then the deal ended up with Xerxes, and I was like, well, warlock paladin, but then paladin I get the extra attack. So I went for pally, and here we are.
And that radiant damage came in clutch.
It did. And so missed the first time, and I basically ran and hid because, rogue, obviously bonus action hide. I want to get that. I think I even used, I don't even remember. I don't even think I hid that time. I think I did my inquisitive fighting to do the insight check against. It doesn't matter.
That feels right. Though.
And then Runeberg was like, just pulling out all the stops, threw the javelin.
An avatar of lightning.
Yeah.
And then, like, I was immediately after him, and I'm like, okay.
So what you're putting down.
We've got lightning going on, and you can just hear Thunderstruck by not ADHD. Oh my God. One of us in the room has ADHD. Can you guess which one? Thunderstruck by AC/DC starts playing in the background as Runeberg becomes an avatar of lightning and is hovering off the ground with these like golden wings, crackling golden wings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. Is there a thundercloud in the room?
That was so cool.
Because like that adds to the call lightning spell. Like if the weather is stormy, you do extra damage.
It's very fun when we ask a question that's actually a leading question, but it's like this kind of a flavor question, and Mans isn't sure which one it is, and he ends up landing it in our favor. Sometimes we rain down T-Rexes, and sometimes we just add extra damage from call lightning.
Sometimes it's just a little bit extra static.
And I think that is reasonable. It's not like that was a broken request. I think that was beautiful. And I mean, he wasn't, again, rule of cool.
Yeah, like there is a storm cloud in the room.
Love it.
Give me a little extra something. And so call lightning is a concentration spell. And then I wild shaped into an air elemental.
Perfect.
And it's like a thundercloud elemental, basically. I'm like, this is the tastiness of that moment was so like it lined up perfectly.
Yeah.
And then what happened next? Grimoire got girded.
Yeah. Because he was throwing back. He wasn't even looking.
Yeah, like he was throwing back. Stop.
Yeah, exactly. Just
swatting
waving
at us.
Exactly. He was just throwing back some sort of necrotic damage. And the way that Mans does necrotic damage is that basically it just it doesn't matter if the spell says it or not. If you're taking necrotic damage, it lowers your max HP. And that's typically until we take a short or long rest. Like it's not forever. I think it's usually a long rest. He was generous in this since it was like a dungeon crawl thing. But the idea being obviously we can't heal over it again.
Yeah.
Raj tried to he animated the dead in the jars and had some minions, which were helpful. But really he was a slippery guy.
He just moved too fast. too much Misty Step.
Yeah, so much Misty Step. And so, I mean, he really kind of just like evaded us for the first half of the combat. I don't think I did anything the second time. Oh, I did Moonbeam because I called down Moonbeam.
Yeah.
And then I made an attack. And then, like, because that's when we found out the radiant damage did a little extra. And I was like, excellent, excellent, excellent.
And I think that was also something that Mans was like, actually, that makes sense. It doesn't say it, but he should take radiant damage. And then he, yeah. So then, there was what is it? A circle of death? Is that the spell? That's like the really wide range necrotic feels right.
damage.
That feels like what it is.
We were basically, I also did the paladin thing trying to give everyone, I gave 3 people and myself advantage on wisdom, charisma, and intelligence saves. We were only making con saves. But like, it's not helpful.
It would make the most sense. Like, I picked up what you were putting down though. Yeah. Because like, he is going to try to, our party's been mind controlled so many times.
I know, and I wanted to protect Greymore and Runeberg from like attacking us.
Please don't do that.
I wanted to protect them.
Obviously.
Us.
I wanted to keep their minds safe. Because if they get flipped, we're dead. It's happened before.
It has. So that's what I was trying to do, is just a paladin, let's throw a little protection down. So,
and then Circle of Death.
Circle of Death.
And then
Galileo dropped his concentration and I was lethargic for a whole turn. So I lost a turn.
Yeah. But you were hidden.
I was hidden. It was the best place for it to happen.
It happened in the best place.
It was. And then Runeberg picked up the Lich.
Yeah. Or was it Runeberg did, not Terrainberg?
Right.
Okay.
And I think he switched places with Terrainberg, and then like Terrainberg threw him into the thing. So he threw him into the cogs, and the Lich cast Time Stop. Time Stop.
We thought we had it. We thought that we're like, all right, fight finished. We got it. He's in the cogs. He's going to be destroyed. Liches can't fly. There's nothing he can do.
Well, I figured he'd probably have the fly spell, but I also figured that Terrainberg would probably just grapple him and throw himself in because he's only got 1 hit point anyway. He doesn't care. He can just bamf him back.
Hold him and stay with him.
Correct.
And I was like, how far down there can I get into the fan as an air elemental without getting sucked into the fan?
Sure. Plus, when he did that, we also learned that there was a sphere of annihilation down there.
Yeah. So, and then Time Stop.
And he time stopped.
And then the end of the episode.
Correct. And he had Bill roll for the number of turns that he got, and Bill rolled 1. And it's 1d4 plus 1 turn, so he only got 2 turns.
Thank God.
Yeah. But he did like a delayed blast fireball. Is that not what he ended up doing? He talked about doing that.
He talked about doing it.
Oh, no,
everyone suggested that he did it, and I think it was Circle of Death, but also like Misty stepped up out of the pit. Or yeah. That's how he got out. He like bamfed up.
Yeah.
Because he like landed on one of the gears.
Oh, that was the other part that we missed. Yeah. Is that Greymore and Raj. Was it Greymore or was it Galileo? Who was up there on the no, it was Runeberg. Who the frickety frack was up there trying to get the sphere down of protection around the book? It was Raj.
Oh, and he destroyed the rites of ascension.
Yes. Yes.
Permanently disenchanted and destroyed the rites of ascension, so no one can be a god anymore unless the gods pick you.
Yup.
Jazz the last descendant would be a very interesting, like
Jazz
nom de plume.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, like it was Runeberg and Raj up there trying to like take the book down or get the book or destroy the book, and by casting dispel magic, and he was trying to dispel the protective shield around the book.
Yep.
But the protective shield around the book came from the book, and in casting it, just completely disenchanted the book.
Yep.
So
it was gone.
Why did the Cobalt Soul have that? I mean, if anybody should have that, it's the Cobalt Soul. But like, why did they just?
I know. Well, especially considering it's like. Well, that's the funny part, is that it's canon that like the ascension rites don't exist anymore.
And we made it real canon.
We really did.
Yeah.
We really did.
But so like
sorry, I'm like fiddling over here so if you guys can hear me moving as I'm trying to get comfortable and put my feet up.
I guarantee you that every time I take a sip of my drink, the mouth sounds are...
They're not.
That's great.
They're not. I have never had to edit out any sort of mouth sounds.
Thank God.
Yeah, you're good.
You all have been spared.
Rites of Ascension gone.
Rites of Ascension gone. I had a thought, and again, like, we're going to recap this combat as quickly as we can.
Hey, we're good. We're only at 20 minutes.
Whoa! We're doing a great job.
No.
So, this is a thing that's already happened. This lich was already destroyed.
Correct.
And already encapsulated.
Correct.
So, is this like a playback? Is this a, hey, let's go back in time and do it again? Like a completely, like, if you die in the game, do you die in real life situation?
I don't know. We've talked about that a few times when it comes to these tests.
Mm-hmm. It's like, were we in like a movie, basically? Were we cast in this movie about this lich?
Maybe.
Because he's already been trapped, and it's not like they just like get him back out every now and then, you know?
Right. I think it's just the RQ being like playing puppets.
Here's the situation.
Yeah. And I mean, she's like, I can put this amount of magic into it, and that's it.
Ugh.
Yeah. She has reanimated an already undead lich.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. So, I mean, so that happened.
Yep.
That was super cool.
So, wait, no more Rites of Ascension.
Yes.
No one gets to be a god now.
Oh, that's what it was. I wrote it. See, this is why I have my notes in front of me. Grimoire was power word killed from the book.
Correct.
That's
because, yes.
Raj, oh, guys, this is why I write notes, and I'm sorry that I did this out of order, but hopefully you watch the session anyway.
Thankful for. This is why I'm thankful for you.
Raj cast Revivify, and then the Lich counterspelled it. Ninth level.
We're past 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That motherfucker did it. He went for it.
He did.
He actually did it.
He did. I mean, he's counterspelled healing spells before, but counterspelling Revivify. So, Raj did it again.
So he's like, I'm going to push to do it anyway.
He stretched. So we have rules. So one of our house rules, something that Matthew read about on the internet, and I created some basic
documentation
rules.
for it.
I did. Is stretching. And so what you can do is, like, let's say your character is 35 feet or 40 feet from the baddie, and I don't know, 70 feet, whatever. You use your movement to get as close as you can, but you still want to hit them, and you don't want to have to waste your action to dash or hold your action in case they come closer. So you're like, can I just stretch to go a little bit further? And then you have to make like an athletics or an acrobatics check or whatever your choice is, or your DM's choice is. And if you succeed, then you can go ahead and you can go an extra 5 feet and make your attack. If you fail, maybe you pull a muscle and you have disadvantage, or you like have half movement speed for the rest of the combat or something like that.
So you can try. If it doesn't work, it's going to backfire.
Correct. And so one of the main things we do is, if you're stretching for an extra spell, obviously that's a little bit, depending on who you are, a little bit more exhausting. And so even if you succeed, you probably still have one level of exhaustion. But if you succeed, it usually goes away on a short rest as opposed to a long rest, et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole document of stuff. So Raj ended up stretching, and he had to give something up in order. He succeeded, but he said you have to give something up. And he gave up the memory of his family in order to bring Grimoire back.
Yeah. He's like, and that is such a power move, right? Because like, that is knowing what we know about Raj's past. Like, good for him for being like, I don't need this and this doesn't serve me.
Yep.
And does it make you sad that you've lost something and you can't tell what you've lost anymore? Yes. But like, can it be healing sometimes to step away from familial toxicity? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like, I was like, I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
I'm proud of our little snake cleric. He did a great job.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And so not only did he go ahead and he was able to revivify Grimoire then, but he got rid of that little toxic part. And I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Runeberg throws the Lich into the gears. Lich casts Time Stop, and then Grimoire and Raj were at the start of the round after the Time Stop. That's where we ended with everything there. But you see, I take notes for a reason. If I read them before we did the podcast, it would be so much more fluid. But you know what, guys? That's not what it's like.
This is part of the fun of it.
It's also not what's going on inside our brain.
No.
So I would apologize to you, but like,
it's our podcast, and we'll do it out of order if we want to.
Yeah, but like, welcome.
Yeah.
And thanks for being here.
Also, yes. Also, thank you for being here.
And that was the first part.
Yeah.
So we started back up, and that was when the Time Stop came back. And I didn't even write down what he did. So, but he misty stepped and got back up. He got back to his spot. He ended up
circle of death and try to hit all of us.
All of us. It was it was huge. And he was immune to necrotic damage, so he just sat in the middle of it and was like, whatever, as long as I get my stuff done.
Huffed those necrotic fumes.
Yeah.
So that was fine. And then right after he went was Galileo, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got one more shot off.
Mm-hmm.
And he fully healed himself. That's what he did. He fully healed himself.
Yes, he did.
To 285 hit points. We learned after the fact.
We did learn afterwards.
Galileo cast Scatter. Which I thought was made up.
I know. I was like,
Are you trying to say Shatter?
Same. I was like, is he just fudging the name Shatter? Nope. Scatter.
Because Bill likes to rename spells to flavor them for his character.
Sure.
But just change the name doesn't change the spell. And then he started saying what the spell does. I'm like, excuse me?
Right.
I'm sorry.
So for those of you who don't know, I don't even know what level spell it is. 5, 6? I think it's a 5th or 6th level spell.
Mm-hmm.
And so Scatter, you can take, I think it's 5 willing creatures. And if a creature's not willing, they have to make a con save. And if they fail that save, they can be moved. And he basically can move these pieces like a chessboard and move them up to 120 feet. So he took the squishies who weren't doing so great and moved them to the side.
Yes.
And he looked at me and he's like, where do you want to be? And I said, put me in, coach. And so he put me and Roomberg flanking the Lich, and the Lich down right in the middle of us. And then it was my turn.
And then she exploded him.
I did. So then
dusted him.
I have a whip. So I've always had a whip because our mom is an Aranese, and they use whips. So I was like, how cool would it be if my rogue had a little whip? And since then, ever since I actually had a Griffin Saddlebag whip that was I think it was Death Dog Lasher.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-headed whip, so it did 2d4 instead of 1d4. And then I was like, can we say over the year that we have been hunting demons, devils, things that have all been coming out of here? And can I just as I've killed things, can I take their tails? And I want to make a cat of 9 tails. And so I was like, but I don't want to roll 94 because who wants to roll 9 caltrops like nightmare fuel? So I was like, is there a way for us to simplify this? And so he did the math of the averages, and he's like, what if we did 4d10 plus 10 ends up having the same average? I was like, love rolling a d10. That sounds great. Then we have a twin fighting feat. I didn't get to use this time because
can you imagine?
I know. And so if we're within 15 feet of each other, our our damage dice goes up by 1. So it would be 40-12. And I confirmed that with him that he was okay with that and it wasn't too broken before we did it. And he said, that's fine. So bonus action, I cast Branding Smite, which is a concentration spell. And on I believe it's any hit, but I don't remember if it's specifically melee or not. Doesn't matter. I was melee with it. An additional 2d6 radiant damage. And I was like, yes, this guy doesn't like radiant damage. Also, we made the whip do radiant damage because it was I'd like some of it to be radiant damage. And he was like, just do all of it radiant damage so it's easier. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I mean, radiant whip, paladin infused it.
All radiant damage.
That's super cool. So we did that.
I feel like the entire thing, everything that led up to this turn specifically, was man's just laying rakes in front of himself.
Yep.
To then step on and hit himself in the face
with a big old domino.
Wow.
But I rolled with advantage because I was flanking with Roomberg.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 20. I'm a rogue. So I also threw in a smite. It's an undead creature, which means my smite first level was still 3d8 extra damage. So I rolled 4d10, 2d6, 4d6, 3d8. And I doubled it because I crit. And then we doubled it because he was vulnerable and did a total of 288 radiant. He's like, can you break that down for me? I'm like, all radiant. I guess to be fair, did I flub up that the 46 wasn't radiant damage?
What was the 46 from?
Sneak attack.
I mean,
it doesn't tell you what the extra damage is, I don't think.
If it doesn't specify what
then
the
it gets
extra
loaded
damage
into
is,
your radiant damage.
Exactly. I think that would make the most sense. If you put us in front of the corn of law.
The corn of law. We're doing great today, guys. We're doing great every day.
Of law. My argument would be like the sneak attack would be like the action of doing the thing.
Right.
That's not like I'm going to hit him with my whip and then I'm going to take out a different weapon
right.
and hit him with this dagger. No, that is just extra damage that you do.
I think that's how it works.
Because you're hitting, you know?
Without looking it up, because I don't want to.
I don't want to.
That's how I would rule it. That's how we did rule it.
Listen,
that's how we ruled it. That's what we did.
And it's cool. And we're not undoing it.
No. I mean, it was 288 points of damage on a single turn.
Anyway, it was truly incredible.
And he told us that when he healed back up, he had 285 hit points of damage.
He did it in one go.
I'm like, man, sometimes you're so honest. I would have just added like an extra 100 hit points or something like that and been like, that really hurt. But I had an extra attack.
Yeah.
So I just would have, I wouldn't have critted.
You might not have critted again.
I might not have critted again, but it still would have been 4d10 plus 2d6.
You still could have done it.
I still could have done it. I mean, like 4d10 plus 2d6
doubled.
Plus 10. Doubled because he's vulnerable. He was gone. Mm-hmm. And I think I rolled a natural 20, so a shield wouldn't have saved him on that one. But could he have done it for the second one? Sure. Could we have had another one? Doesn't matter.
It's fine.
It's
that,
over.
That would have been
that
his
was
last
right
turn.
I think that's the right way to do it.
It feels right.
Yeah.
If someone please do not rules lawyer up at us in the comment, or do you can
let me know if you guys how would you guys roll that at your table?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question.
How would you guys roll that? Mm-hmm. So Rogue Paladin, 40-10 radiant damage, 46 sneak attack damage, 2d6 radiant, 3d8 radiant. Would you have rolled that the 46 sneak was also radiant? It's just easier math wise. Mm-hmm. But
I think that's perfect. I think that how we did it, because how would you have done it?
Yeah,
because I think that this makes the most sense.
I think so too.
You're not pulling out a different weapon that doesn't do radiant damage.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened. The RQ as the Lich falls, it just gets turned to dust. He just exploded. Just lands down and goes, that was incredible.
That was incredible. More of did she say it was efficient?
I think she
far
did
more
say,
efficient than my past champion.
I do think she said it was efficient, which Sylvie in a nutshell.
Yeah,
efficient.
Extremely efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the job done perfectly.
Yeah.
And just there's a wind elemental just spinning out in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Just it was so hard for me to not freak out.
Yeah.
Just because I'm so excited that Jordyn got to explode a lich, and then Phoebe's my sister just exploded a lich.
And I like to imagine, I didn't say it at the time, but I like to imagine, because obviously it was all a group effort. It's not it was all a group effort. Obviously.
Galileo had to put you in that place.
Well, we all had to do everything to that point. Again, I did literally nothing in the first half against him. That was all everyone else.
That's true.
So it is certainly not. It's not like Sylvie did the one thing by herself and literally absolutely not.
Group effort.
Always. But I like to imagine that the way that she came out from the scatter was she almost fell. So she just had that momentum coming down with the whip and was able to slice right through him with the whip. So
whoa.
Yeah. So I was I didn't say it, but that's kind of what I imagined. It wasn't a delicate. Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't just
Whoop-a.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
That's okay. But so that was, we finished up there. We're all riding real high. We're all feeling great about.
We did have a question at that point though, because we felt like there wasn't, we knew that this was going to be a test of loss. And we were all kind of we don't feel like we lost anything other than Raj.
Raj did.
Raj lost the memory of his family.
He took that one on the nose for the team.
He sure did. But we just, we said, we didn't know what was going to happen. Were we going to be going in and there were going to be memories, whatever. So we finished this combat and we're feeling good.
Yeah.
But we're not feeling the loss part yet.
We don't, we achieved something.
Yeah.
We feel like we are capable of fighting very powerful beings.
Yeah.
cool, but like there's a boot that's been lifted somewhere and it hasn't dropped yet, we're fine.
It's totally fine.
There's no boot.
No. So she opens, the RQ like opens the, like there's a, like
It was
the
the
moon,
moon.
like
Yeah.
opens it up to a pool with a moon that seems like we can walk through. And there was a water fountain and the sun was shining and it was a small 50 to 60 foot room. And
Like
there was
a
a bench.
greenhouse.
Yeah, like a greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And we took a look around and sitting on the bench is our mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
And we race up to them.
Yeah. Like, there's no time to, like, I don't think, because, like, obviously, like, my logic brain is, like, something's up. Like, alarm bells are going off. But, like, I think that in character, it's like, I don't care if there are alarm bells going off.
Well,
explode me.
Well, and that's why, like, you know, it was like, we see them.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this, who knows where exactly we are. But like Sylvie looks at her mother, puts her hand on her face and says, "Are you real?" And does an insight check because I have like, I'm an inquisitive.
Roll a 19.
If I'm trying to tell if someone's lying.
Yeah.
And so like looking at her, checking her mother and father just to see if it's them. It's them.
If they were there. They were actually
real.
there.
So we introduce them to the group as like a happy family. Like, is this like, like bring your parents to work day? And like, they're all, is it family day at the Cobalt Soul? And like our family's
are we going to see
Right.
everyone? And we're going to get to meet everyone's family and like somehow.
Minus Raj. Minus Raj.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been very interesting.
Would he have recognized?
No. He wouldn't have. He didn't even know. He doesn't have any memory of them.
Huh.
But the last time we heard from / I saw our mother was,
hi there.
Grandpa Kitty says hello.
Hi, Nose.
Was at the base of Rexentrum when she's putting in Asmodeus's mace into the obelisk and exploding the world. Not exploding the world, but
there was an explosion that did happen.
Yeah. But that was over a year ago.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard from them.
We were going to reach out, but
things move quickly.
Didn't want the answer. That happens. But they were there and it's like, well, let's talk to them. Like, let's just catch up for a second.
Yeah.
And then it was like while we were catching up and while we were in that moment, the entire party was like, something's up. And Runeberg was like, none of this, like they're real. Nothing else in this space is real.
Right. The water fountain has, like there's no water. The plants aren't real. Like none of it's real.
He tried to like raise Terrainberg out of the vines and nothing came out of it. Like
Galileo did his little lenses and saw that it was mostly illusion and divination. Well, illusion and divination was coming from our parents. Everything else was just illusion.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. And then I still want to know what the divination bit was. Like, why? Did you figure that out?
I assume that it was something like, I don't know if it was like kind of like scrying. Like they were being projected here. But
they were, because divination is like, maybe it's not so much that's a good thought process. You're correct. So like instead of, it's like a sending spell, but instead of it just being like sending, like you are brought to the party.
Yeah.
So that you can like speak with them in a bubble area.
Yeah.
It's scrying if you also entered the room with them at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
And then Raj it wasn't cast, it's the...
Sense Undead.
Yeah, it's like the eyes of the
grave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's looking for undead, and he gets two undead reads or vibes coming from our parents. He brings Sylvie over and he tells her, and Lyndsey and Jordyn knew that it wasn't real, that it probably wasn't real.
Yeah.
We wanted to believe it was real. And I think Phoebe and Sylvie probably, I think in the beginning, like the relief that we felt when they seemed real and it was them.
Yeah.
Just gave us such a wave of hope that I think it punched Mans right in the gut.
Yeah, I think that we may have like we may have rug pulled him a little bit in return because we were so excited. And but that's how it would have gone down.
It is.
No matter if it had been an illusion or not.
Yeah.
That is how it would have gone down.
Yeah.
Like Phoebe is my intelligence isn't as low as I play it off as, but
no, it's not. Your intelligence, none of your stats are low. I think everything is positive or neutral.
Be a little bit higher.
Same. I think I have a +1.
Yeah, I have
+2. Yeah, you have an extra minute in the water than I did.
I'm I need just a little bit extra con-wise, but it's that is how it would have played out.
Yes, it is.
Even in any situation, but we were so happy to see them. And when the confirmation that it's no, this isn't the Feywild.
Right.
No, yes, you are in a different plane.
Yep.
But it might not be the Feywild.
Yep.
It's that's when it hit me and you're like, oh, okay. So this is okay. But maybe it's because my brain was trying to reason and be okay, well, we are technically below rec syndrome.
You did. Now. You had a whole. You were texting. You were really trying to work it out yourself.
We're below rec syndrome right now.
No, it's fine.
We're in a pocket dimension. When it exploded, they were thrown back into the labyrinth, and then they got bubbled in the labyrinth by the magic of the labyrinth. And now they're just being held in it.
That's right.
Or something.
Because the other clue that happened is that they were the last thing I remember was an explosion of light. But that was just moments ago, and now you're here. How are you here? Mm-hmm. And that's when we were like, Mama and Papa, that was a year ago.
You've been here for a while.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
but it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So still not entirely sure if that was a test. And if it is, why it was just Phoebe and Sylvie, or if it was truly just a kindness.
Yeah, just you can say goodbye because
I think it was a kindness of the Raven Queen after her test is what Jordyn thinks it is.
I agree. I don't think that was supposed to be something that we had to deal with.
No,
I don't think that would not have sat as nicely as this did.
Right. Agreed.
Had it been a test.
Agreed.
And it was.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just thinking of how dad Arvel was because remember you jumped on his back and
he's
was
oh my God,
carrying him, but then when he was what have you guys been up to, and we were telling him, and I don't remember what you said.
My eye.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, did you see that I lost an eye?
What happened? And it was the dagger and the sword. It was, the dragon was riding the person, and it was threw a sword at you. And I was no, Dad. It was just such an adorable dad joke moment. It
super
was
duper
very
dad
cute.
joke moment, and leave it up to me to actually be no, it was this.
Yeah.
And no, because my dad also has really dry humor.
Yeah.
And there are so many times where he'll ask something facetiously, and I will start to explain.
Sure. And
then I look, and he's just kind of deadpanning at me, and I'm that's a funny joke, Dad. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good sense of dad humor.
Yeah.
But then we had a good a conversation, even knowing, and we were talking about what have we done in the past year, and I made sure that I did not say anything that would be leading for them. It's just what have we done since the last time we talked to Mom and Dad?
Yeah.
What have we done since the last time we checked in?
Yeah.
It just so it's this is everything that we've gotten into.
Yeah, I showed my mom the Aranese, Cat of Nine Tails whip, and I was take it for a spin, Mama. And no, they're definitely all demon tails, Mom. They're
demon tails. They're not
definitely not also.
And she's we cannot remember or we cannot forget who we are. We know who we are. And I'm yeah, we know who we are. Yeah. That's cool. Thanks, Mom.
It was cute though.
It was very cute, and I think it was good, and I think it was a positive moment, and I think that it allowed us to kind of tell them hey guys, I think you're dead, and props to you though for being the person that led that, because had you not said anything, I think that Phoebe would have just been hey, let's just walk outside, and we're not gonna make a big deal of it, and we're just gonna say goodbye at the door, and it'll be nothing ever happened, but good on you for revealing it.
Well, I think
calling Phoebe to be braver.
Well, and it fits for both like our personalities
yeah.
and like Sylvie and Phoebe's personalities. I mean, obviously D&D characters, like we've said a million times before, are kind of a part / a reflection of us.
An extension of myself.
Yeah. And so like it makes sense that like logic brain Sylvie, one, had always wanted to say goodbye. That's why she wanted to reach out to them. That's why she wanted to like write the note to them.
Mm-hmm.
So like she probably would have just been like, I really wish we would have said goodbye.
Yeah.
And like, because it's not goodbye forever. It's goodbye for right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like giving her that closure will make moving forward a lot easier.
Oh yeah. And like I think that as much as Phoebe and me, Lyndsey, it's like I don't ever want to say goodbye.
No.
I just want to know that I will see you again eventually.
Yeah.
And I know that in here, and we don't have to get into the specifics of it.
Right.
Like it's, if you leave it up to the whims of the powers that be,
yeah,
I'll see you again. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like, it would, like, I think it is better to have that closure and have that moment of closure, and then being able to walk them to the door.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're going to hang back for a second. And it's like, that's fine. And, you know, we're going to go save the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see you soon.
Yeah.
For you. Who knows how soon it is?
Well, I mean, and like we said to them, I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
if it's been a year,
No
we
time
may
at
be
all.
back in no time at all.
Yeah. A blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And then we did that. And, like, it was, like, in our line of work, and feel free to cut this out if you want to.
Nope.
In our line of work, like, we help a lot of people say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of one of the things that we do. And that's one of the reasons why D&D is so helpful for me as a person. Because, like, it's hard to help other people say goodbye.
Yeah.
But, like, it's also an honor to be the person that, like, gets to walk their four-legged family member to the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's an honor every time.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the day that I stop saying it is the day that I need to stop doing what I'm doing.
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed.
And so, like, that was a really nice, like, calling, not call back to my real life, but, like, a nod to, like, hey, like, we're going to process this in the fantasy world, too.
Yeah.
We're going to process this saying goodbye.
Yeah.
And then we got that vision of Sarenrae and Asmodeus.
Yep.
Asmodeus or whatever's.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know about you,
mm-hmm.
but Phoebe now has a target on Asmodeus's back.
For sure.
Like, 100%. It's like,
for sure.
I'll kill you with my bare hands or my bare hands. One of the two.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, Jordyn,
Mm-hmm.
I want to just, like, praise the ground that Sarenrae walks on, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad. I don't even think you have to do that. I think you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to mute it. I don't think it's a problem. Oh, we said we could hear it a little bit, but I think if I'm talking over it, it's fine.
Okay.
But either way, it's cool. But I think, like, Jordyn is just kind of like, I'm, like, upset that I don't have a character that's, like, praising Sarenrae yet.
Exactly.
And, like, I'm just like, she literally is the only reason that our parents' souls aren't
Did not
in the
go
nine
to,
hells
yeah.
being tormented forever.
See,
Like,
but also, hey,
mm-hmm.
she did her job. She completed her mission.
She did.
So she would not have been tortured forever, but
Well,
she
and
probably wouldn't have gone somewhere, like, cool and nice.
Well, and she shouldn't have been either way, because I made the...
Exactly.
Like, yeah, either way, she should have been fine. But having, like, are any of us going to trust the God of lies? Of course not. So, like, having, like, a prime basically just, like, take them under their wing.
I know they're good people.
Yeah, and, like, I didn't realize that she was the God of redemption.
Like,
that's
okay.
I was like, why aren't Xerxes and Sylvie, like,
into this?
For real? Like, hi, Sarenrae, what are you doing?
I didn't know who you were until just now, and now and like, again, like, Sarenrae is, like, very similar to what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, Phoebe kind of, like, lost her deity.
Yeah.
And, like, feels the need to, like, bring her back and,
Of
like,
course.
to keep her, like, continue to bring her closer back to, like, fullness.
Yeah.
By thinking of Saloon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, can I have two gods?
I mean, and that's hard, but, like, you can certainly, like, you can have faith in multiple primes.
Yeah.
You know they're real. So there is no reason why you can't have faith in multiple primes.
Yeah. Like, let's just, like,
how I feel.
let me have two. Like,
Yeah.
you know that meme of, like, the kid from the 50s with the two hot dogs? It's like, wow, why is your mom let you have two wieners? Or something like that. Like, that one exactly. It's like, at the very least, like, Phoebe has this, like, Saren Ray is, she's good. I like her. I'm here for her. I support her. And Asmodeus, your days are numbered.
Yeah.
They're numbered.
Yeah.
So get ready. Like,
Agreed.
And like, whoa. But also, is the final fight going to be, so
That's what we're here for.
Would it be a more, what's the word I'm thinking of? A more full circle ending for us to fight Asmodeus or Lolth? Because Lolth has been the baddie this whole time. So are we fighting Lolth or are we fighting Asmodeus?
Well, that's a great question.
Who's the last fight going to be?
Lolth would make sense.
Lolth would make the most sense.
And there could potentially be some unfinished business for future followers of either Saren Ray to go after Asmodeus.
It's like, hey guys,
C4 hit up, what up?
What up? We're going to get together a squad. Like, round up all the guys in the town, and we're just going to go stomp them into a mud hole.
Yeah.
So, again, your days are numbered, buddy.
Yeah.
One of us, be it Phoebe and Sylvie and their unfinished business, or be another character down the line, we'll get it. We're coming for you. Lyndsey is coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought that, overall, I don't think it was meant to bring so much hope into our life as it did.
Yeah.
But it was a nice, it provided closure.
Real tears were shed.
They were.
Oh.
It really I think it really allows us to focus on the task ahead, at least for Sylvie.
Absolutely.
I mean, now we know that, like, the only skin we have in the game is each other.
Yep.
And,
it's just us.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And so now we know, like, it is what it is. We will do our best. We both have healing, so we can try to keep ourselves up and help each other as much as we can.
As long as the other twin is still in the game, we're still in the game.
Yep.
And the second that is no longer a thing, all bets are off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, we don't really know where we go from here.
No, like, who's the next guy? Who's the next thing?
And we don't even know how many of these we have to do.
No. I mean, there were, 9 on the door?
Yeah.
But he's not going to make us do 9.
I don't think he's going to make us do 9. I mean, one took us 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you think it was supposed to take us less time than that? Do you think that he expected us to stomp the lich faster?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. So I think we're good.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know if it's like, do we pass? We've done, well, the first test was basically like just how well do you know us?
Yeah.
Not very well, but we're learning.
Yeah.
And the second one was the truth. Third was lost, and maybe there's one more.
It's like primes, trust, loss, and
I don't know.
But like loss, but also resilience, because like, are you ass kickers or are you not ass kickers?
Right.
Like, are you capable of this?
Right.
It's like, yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're good. Probably. And so, like, again, like it's winding down. We're in the end game now. It'll be March tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we got a month and a half. So that's 7 more sessions.
Yeah.
I didn't like saying that.
No.
That felt bad to verbalize. But my Phoebe.
Oh. I didn't like that either.
No, ew.
Oh, no.
Gross. I hate that. But there's so much more content planned. Like, this is the end of one arc, one campaign. Like, I'm going to be playing D&D till I'm dead.
I literally texted Mans when we were talking about, I don't know if he was talking about his Heckna character or talking about something, and or C4 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to be in our 50s playing D&D, and I'm here for it. He's like, we're not slowing down. And I was like, no, we're not.
There is nothing else I would rather do.
Right.
Like, No, we'll save that for some other time.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. But no, like this is it. This is my thing. Like and so if you want content creators who are going to be creating content for a very, very long time, it's us. Go ahead and invest early.
So please be sure to like and comment on this video.
Ring that bell.
Ring that bell. Be notified whenever we are actually uploading new videos, which are at this moment is going to be Tuesdays and Fridays, which we've been doing for quite some time by the time you hear this video.
Yeah, we're doing a great job.
Yeah.
We have a schedule or something that looks like it.
We have a schedule.
Yeah.
Mans and I have a schedule that we plug in. So
Beautiful.
We're good. We're good to go. And I don't really know what's ahead immediately, but we got a few more things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we basically got, like you said, 5 more weeks of content to fill before we like get the map to Gordranus, then we have to go into Gordranus. I mean, that's going to take us a couple of sessions to like get set up, get around.
Yeah, so we got 7, and I'm just trying to map it out in my brain, like where do we go, like how long are we going to be in here? We're like even though travel time is always super fun, like I don't think that like getting to Gordranus is going to be like the travel across the continent is going to be like played out. But then we also, don't forget, in the next 5 weeks we have to do the Tiamat fight, because we have to know if Cygnus and Victor survive so that they can be the distraction at the gate. So,
man, did you hear that? We have to do that one shot before then.
We have to do it so fast. Like, get it in there. Make a Tiamat fight.
Oh crap. Okay.
Oh god.
What if we do that like the night before is our prepping?
Oh my god. No. Yeah, sure. Like that's actually not the worst idea I've ever heard.
Okay. We'll think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, tune in. We're
tuned.
We're gonna be wrapping up this campaign. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, like, but there's more adventures ahead, and it's okay. And it's like we've been doing this for like a year, and it'll be a year and a half by the time we wrap up.
Yeah.
So like, we've been playing with these guys for a while.
I mean, a year and a half is good. A year to a year and a half, I think, is a good campaign.
Yeah.
Anything more feels like it's dragging on.
I would love to look into a longer one though. Like, let's slow roll it. Let's expand the world as far as we can.
Okay.
And get really, really into it.
Maybe we need to go through all our like little arcs of things, and then we can like be like, I really liked this. I want to explore that more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. We can do that.
Okay. Well, that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. Yay D&D.
Thanks, guys.
Yay audience.
We'll see you guys on Friday for whatever happens next.
Yeah, like so. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
I hate the idea that there's only like 7 sessions
like
left.
We're not. Oh, like I said it out loud because I counted. I'm like, okay, a month, and then like so maybe 8 because I don't know.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, like what date that weekend falls on.
But either way,
that's not enough.
No, that's okay. We're not done with D&D.
Yeah,
it's fine.
We're done with D&D. We're never done with D&D.
No, and right now we're at level 12, so we're at the level that we were at with our last big boss fight at the end of campaign 2.
I thought we were 13.
I don't remember. 12 or 13. So we're near it.
In that area.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
We'll probably get a level at the end of this. Oh crap. Are we still
recording?
Okay, bye.